PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PACTV Community News. We have a great show as we take you to Pembroke High School as their National Honor Society students work for a great cause. And we meet folks from the Kingston Education Foundation to hear about their plans for the rest of the school year.
PCN stops into the Spire where a group of residents are fighting to take their town back from the drug addiction epidemic.
We bring you information from Duxbury on their CPC fund sites, and we meet the folks behind Break a Leg Theater on the South Shore.
We have a Rotary auction story to let you know all about this annual event and how it has helped many organizations in our towns. And we have a story from the Wicked Local Funcation event.
Pet health brings us back to Morningstar Veterinarian from Kingston, but we begin with a touching and powerful event from the Spire in Plymouth. As the town of Plymouth plans to open a recovery center sometime in the upcoming summer in response to the opioid epidemic, the Spire hosted a community-wide meeting to address questions regarding addiction and its treatment. We met up with several of the speakers beforehand.
Tonight is an opportunity to come together and have a community response to what's happening with the opioid epidemic. And one of the things that's happened in Massachusetts is we've begun to have what are called recovery support centers, and there are 10 of them in Massachusetts. Gandera has 3. Those centers are places that people can come to and they can form community and they can begin to work on sustaining themselves in recovery.
The best way to really make a difference is community by community, bringing all the different sectors together and first giving them education about why we have to do this. This is a burgeoning epidemic, probably one of the worst public health epidemics I've ever seen, and we're losing a generation. And in order to stop that, we need to come together and provide access to treatment and then long-term recovery support. We need to educate people that this is a disease.
Brian Robbins, who's the director of the Hyannis Recovery Support Center, and myself, we're going to talk about what happens at recovery support centers and the hope that we have to grow community here that will support the opening of a recovery support center here someday.
There's a lot of focus on treatment, but not much about what happens after treatment. So in the peer recovery centers throughout the state, what we do is we build community. We build a safe place, a safe environment for people who are seeking recovery, in recovery, or affected by substance use. So that includes the families.
This isn't about bad people making bad choices, that when someone becomes addicted to drugs, their brain has been changed, and it's changed permanently. And so we have to treat them like we would a diabetic, someone with high blood pressure. We don't treat them once and say, don't ever come back to the doctor again. If you're a good person, you'll be better. And that's what we really do to people with addiction. We stigmatize them, we blame them, and we judge them, and we need to turn that around. So I'm hoping that I can help people to understand why this is really a disease and how it's been classified as a disease.
We want to make sure that we've begun to educate people, that we've begun to reach out to people who are interested in getting involved, and that we form a recovery community here in Plymouth.
2 of Duxbury's historic homes are looking to receive community preservation money to make some necessary upgrades. The Bradford House on Tremont Street plans to make reparations to several of the windows, while the Alden House needs funding to fix some foundation problems. The proposals still have to go before town meeting, but we spoke with representatives from the different organizations to find out what they'll do with the money if and when it is awarded to them.
The Duxbury Rural and Historical Society applied to the CPA for a grant of $42,000 to accomplish the window preservation project at the Bradford House Museum, which is located at 931 Tremont Street in Duxbury. The money encompasses the preservation of about 40 windows at the Bradford House Museum, most of which are entirely original material. So preservation of them, as well as returning them to functioning, is of utmost importance. Functioning windows are particularly important in a historic house museum that has a summer season. We simply need to be able to open the windows in order to provide access to the public. In addition to which, the preservation project encompasses consolidation of a lot of the material, which prevents water from intruding into the house, as well as pollutants and contaminants. The proposal goes to Duxbury's town meeting in March. If the town agrees to the grant, we would proceed with the project next fall. We expect the project to take most of the months of September and October. The window preservation project is the last step in a really exciting project that the DRHS has undergone for the last couple of years. We are reimagining Bradford to become a new type of museum, more inclusive, exciting, telling women's history. The window project is the very last construction step on that journey. To date, we have raised almost $500,000 for the Bradford House Museum, and we're hoping that the partnership with Duxbury will get us over that finishing line and let us finish our capital campaign.
Our project is to ask for some much-needed preservation work on the Alden House. We are requesting $19,500, and that's to do preservation work on the 1680 Alden House. And this would involve doing some work that pitches some of the water away from where it's draining into the foundation, which is the original foundation of the house. And so steer that away, and also from the roof as well. So moisture has just been a big issue in the house lately, and we, according to a conservation assessment, this work will really address those needs. It has, of course, to be reviewed by the Community Preservation Committee itself to make sure that it fits within their guidelines. And then it goes before the different town committees that have to approve it as well. And then it goes to town meeting for the voters. The funding would be available this summer, and we would, of course, get the project going right away. We're ready to get going. It's, you know, no time like the present to get water away from draining into your original foundation.
3 seniors from Pembroke High School's National Honor Society recently hosted an event at the Pembroke Library for kids to reach out to other kids in need at Children's Hospital in Boston. Children were invited to come in and write cards with well wishes and words of inspiration and artwork to boost the spirits for the young patients and their families at the hospital. The event also featured a toy drive, and we met up with the young ladies from Pembroke High School who put it all together.
Senior year of high school at National Honor Society, you know, you're invited to partake in a senior service project. You create it, you know, with a group of your friends. And for Carly, Kerrigan, and I, it seemed really fitting to pick Children's Hospital, as we all relate to it in some way, shape, or form. You know, I think for the community of Pembroke, everyone has a relative cause that they've come to know and appreciate for Children's Hospital. With the support and encouragement of our advisors, Mr. Brandon Hall and Ms. Lynn Place, we've really just taken the project and encouraged kids today at the library to create cards of inspiration and hope for the patients. And for us, we think it fulfills the pillars of service, leadership, scholarship, and character. And we couldn't think of a better way to do it than to host this event today.
Ultimately, I wanted to have a day where kids could come together and support one another. So if a kid is in the hospital, then they know they're being supported and they can get encouraged by the other kids who are still at home.
I'd love to be a nurse. I've always had an affinity for helping others, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to finally get to be around the children, get a feel for what nursing would be like.
Personally, for me, my sister has cerebral palsy, and so for me, she's always gone to Children's Hospital and had her appointments there, and to see the amazing work of her doctors and surgeons. Personally, for myself, I just wanted to support that same cause. I know for Carly and Kerrigan, they both want to go into the medical field after high school, and so I know for them this really resonates with them, as this is what they want to do and fulfill their life with.
I'm really happy with the turnout. We've got a lot of artwork, which is good. I think the kids are going to be really happy.
Today, the kids have come from all different schools in Pembroke. We have kids from North Pembroke today, Bryanville, Hobbamock, and some students from the middle school. We have, like I said, the volunteers from Pembroke High School. We really tried to target the younger age group because we know at Children's Hospital that you have younger patients, and so we wanted to have the younger kids, understand, what this is going to and the cause that they're supporting. And so we talked to the administrators at each school to organize it and invite the kids, and so we've had, a great turnout for today.
PCN stopped into the Kingston Foundation for Education to meet the new president and to see what's in store for this year. The Kentucky Derby fundraiser is just around the corner, and PCN stopped in to get you the info.
Our first year, we donated just under $25,000 worth of iPads and Chromebooks within the schools. Technology is no longer a luxury for school systems. It's really kind of a requirement. And though it is in the budget sometimes, you see things like last year, the Finance Committee actually asked us to reduce the budget and only have like a 3% increase. And unfortunately, $25,000 worth of technology was cut from the budget. But luckily, we are grateful to the community, and we raised enough money where we were able to donate that and then some last year. So there are so many online tools that children can use these days to make education fun. We have IXL, the kids at KIS use for helping them with their math skills. Here at KES, they use Extra Math, and that helps them with their math skills. There's also all kinds of reading tools. It just helps to change things up a little bit for the kids, really make it fun. Last year, we actually made a donation to Mrs. Reynard in the computer room at KES. And she got some online applications that you have to pay and apply for a subscription for. So that just makes her computer lab a little more fun than just something that's free. So we are a nonprofit, a 501c3. We were established late spring of 2014. We are a group of parents with children in the school system trying to enhance the opportunities for our students and work with the administration and purchased primarily technology at this point. That seems to be the biggest need. We have a little flexibility and could perhaps purchase some other items down the road relating to science and things. We started out in Kingston at the Indian Pond Country Club with Laughs for Learning. It was our first big fundraiser. We really wanted to start with something big to get our name out there. The big one we do is also the Derby. We are in our third year of the Derby at a different venue this year. It seemed to be a really popular idea. People love getting dressed up and finding a fun hat to wear. East Bay Grill was very kind to offer up their venue, so we're really looking forward to that because it's a really large venue. So it is May 6th this year, so we'll be hosting that at 4 o'clock, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
We had an unusually warm February school vacation, but that didn't stop the crowds from heading inside to Wicked Local's Funcation event at the Kingston Collection. PCN stopped in to see more.
Welcome to Wicked Local Funcation. This is an event that we put on through Wicked Local. We've this year expanded our events lineup and bringing our content that we've for years and years had in our trusted newspaper titles and on our websites out to the public. Now we've done this through our All Scholastics program. We've done it through our Best Years event that's held in Foxborough every year. But this is the first time we've done Funcation. It is during the winter vacation week, and so we're targeting our children and families in our markets who are really the people who read our publications, who we really think are our core audience. And lots of fun here today. So we've got some great musical groups. We have all sorts of exhibitors with kid-friendly and family-friendly events. We've had characters running around, balloons for everybody. So really just a fun day on a gorgeous day outside. We're lucky with the weather, but a fun day for the whole family to just come and learn about Wicked Local, be a part of their community, and have some fun on vacation.
Healy and Kyle have been friends since elementary school and grew up in a Connecticut suburb of New York City. They've been through a lot together, from sneaking into Broadway shows all the way to attending the same college. Though their lives took different paths, they remained friends. Kyle started a career on Broadway and Healy moved up to Massachusetts. As years passed, they still held on to their dream of opening a children's theater company together. And when the opportunity presented itself, what did they do? They started Break-A-Leg Theater Works. Here's their story.
I never want to see Jimmy Smith again. Good. Forget the boys, Domont. Get yourself a canary. No canary in a cage.
Well, Healy and I we met in children's theater when I was in 4th grade and she was in 3rd grade in Norwalk, Connecticut. And so we've known each other pretty much the majority of our lives. And so I guess that's what started our love of the theater. So we've kind of had that sentiment stay with us throughout our lives of being friends.
All the way up till 12th grade.
Yeah, we've always wanted to have a theater company of our own, and so it was always a dream of ours, and we got the opportunity about a year and a couple months ago. Well, I had actually gotten an injury on the road, and I've been working on the road, and I got the injury, and then I had some time off, and I was kind of thinking also what else did I want to do with my life? What was the next chapter? And she called me one day, and she's like, we'd been throwing around this idea for years, and she told me to come up. And yeah, we had a meeting. We didn't even really we had an idea because of what we came from, but we didn't know exactly what it would come to in its fruition.
One of the things we were talking about is he knows a lot of people on Broadway and New York professionals, and we were toying between, do we start with doing a cabaret and bring up some of the professional people he knows, or do we start with classes, theater classes, or a show for kids? And then finally dawned on us that maybe we could do both and get a couple of his friends to come up and do a performance with the students. And it was great. We had our first audition for a show called A Night of Broadway, and we had 2 Broadway performers come up to perform, and we held auditions and just tried to get the word out, and we had amazing talent of kids walk through the door.
And so now we're preparing for our 4th show, which is Let's Go to the Movies, which is going to be an iconic show with songs from movies from different eras, all the way back to the Trolley Song and The Good Ship Lollipop. Going all the way up to Moana. Children learn about themselves from coming in and working in the theater. They learn that who they are is enough, and they are validated by their gifts, their own personal individual gifts, and we celebrate them for that. So what we try to do in the studio is when they come in, whatever levels they have or experiences they have in the theater is irrelevant. It's, do you have an interest, do you have a passion? And we try to celebrate that passion by celebrating their individual unique qualities and letting them know they are enough. So whether they go on to be in the boardroom, the courtroom, the basketball court, or on stage, they leave with a sense of confidence and inner purpose.
So the satisfaction that we get out of teaching this is you can identify those students. There's certain ones that Kyle always talks about, oh, I relate so much to that student because I can see her passion and her longing and how much she just loves coming here during the day. And I see that too. For me, there was another particular student that I saw who could barely get up to audition, and she could barely breathe. Recently, she just got a leading role at her school, over 60 other students and her mother came to us and talked about what a huge boost in confidence she's experienced in the last year. And that's just so validating to see what you identify with when you were younger, the passions, the obstacles, and to see those in your students and to know that I can help, give that back, what we got out of it.
Wow, and Maureen, that must have been so much fun for you to do that story since you are a theater girl yourself, and boy, what a talented group.
Well, what's even funnier is when I was, setting this story up, I was like, Healy, how do I know the name? I've actually done theater with her 10 years ago at the Company Theater in Norwell. I was like, I knew I recognized that name, so it was very funny. But the show they mentioned, Let's Go to the Movies.
Right.
We just want to let the audience know that that's going to be Friday, May 19th and Sunday, May 21st.
At the Spire Center.
At the Spire Center.
Yep.
And their Broadway guest is the former Elphaba understudy who is on Broadway.
From
Broadway.
Wicked, yep.
Yeah, for Wicked. And featuring dancers from
Kingston's Dance DreamWorks, who we've done stories about them in the past.
Yeah.
And the voices in those clips were pretty amazing.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. It's just great seeing young people just take hold of that passion and own it at that age.
Yeah.
I think it's a powerful life lesson. It helps you learn yourself. Like Kyle and Haley said, you know, it's just, I love doing these stories. It's very inspiring to me, and I'm glad more people are,
Involved,
selflessly giving their talents to train
that.
young people.
And we hope all of the youth break a leg. For 110 years, Rotary clubs around the globe have been committed to their guiding principles: service above self, fellowship, diversity, integrity, and leadership. Rotary is where neighbors, community leaders, and global citizens share ideas and take action to create lasting change both locally and globally. Rotarians connect people, transform communities, and solve problems. Members believe that they have a shared responsibility to work on projects in their own neighborhoods and around the world that have a real and lasting impact on people's lives. Today, Rotary is a network of 1.2 million people in 35,000 clubs who donate 16 million hours a year to make change. They develop programs and raise money to enrich communities, fight poverty, support education, and battle disease. Through Rotary International, 2.6 billion children have been immunized against polio. The Rotary Club of Plymouth, established in 1940, has long been an example of the organization's guiding principles. It is comprised of our friends and neighbors who work together and donate their time to make our communities a better place to live, to work, and to learn. Members serve local residents through time and donations to support projects, give grants, and offer scholarships to area students. You can see Rotarians walking in parades, participating in community events, and raising monies to donate to organizations and projects like America's Hometown Thanksgiving Parade, the Nathan Hale Foundation, South Shore Community Action Council, and the Plymouth Philharmonic. In 2011, after Plymouth's sister city, Shishigahama, experienced a devastating earthquake and tsunami, the Rotary Club partnered with the town of Plymouth and PACTV to produce a telethon 11 days after the tsunami. In a live telethon, together they raised $62,000 for Shishigahama in just 3 hours. And in the end, the Plymouth Rotary sent off a donation of $100,000 to the Shishigahama Rotary Club to provide relief for their community and its people. To support the Rotary's work, donations, grants, and scholarships, the Rotary Club of Plymouth must raise funds. Over 20 years ago, this club decided to focus their energy on a huge annual undertaking, a televised auction. 22 years later, the Plymouth Rotary Auction is a much-loved and viewed event. Over the years, it's raised over $1 million that has been donated to local and international causes. Each year, over 500 area businesses donate items, services, trips, and gift certificates to support the cause. Each year, people throughout the South Shore and beyond line up to bid on the phone and online to compete in a fast-paced, fun, live auction, all to support local and international needs. Each year, PACTV partners with the Rotary Club of Plymouth to bring the auction to you. We're gearing up. It's only a few short weeks away, and this year the auction will be held March 10th through 12th. Early bidding is available online at www.plymouthrotaryauction.com.
Our pet health segment brings us to Morningstar Animal Hospital in Kingston for information on pet food labels.
I am Dr. Lee, and I am here today to talk to you about reading a pet food label. The way that they do it makes it pretty confusing. And so on the front of the can or the bag is going to be the name of the food. And those names tell you how much of a particular ingredient has to be in the food. If something is called beef for dogs, chicken for cats, etc., it has to be 95%, that ingredient, that beef, that chicken has to be 95% of the diet. And then there are the dinners, the dinner rule. So anything that's called an entree, a dinner, that type of thing, the main ingredient, beef dinner for dogs, beef has to be 35% of that diet. And then there's the with rule, which is dog food with beef or cat food with tuna. That ingredient has to be 3% of that diet. And then there are claims, which are usually also part of the name or part of the advertising right on the front of the can or the bag. Holistic, in this instance, means nothing. There's no legal definition for pet food for holistic, so it's more of a marketing term that you can't rely on. Natural, that does mean something. It is regulated, and if it says it's all natural, then the ingredients actually have to be all natural, except you want to watch for mostly it's all natural with added vitamins and minerals, because most of the vitamins and minerals are synthetic. So that's one quick way to see sort of how much of that ingredient you're interested in, you're going to get.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. You can find replay times as well as links on PACTV.org or check us out on YouTube.
Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for more information and behind-the-scenes fun. See you next week for more local stories.